It's May 12, 2023, and it's here in Sweden. Do we have like called name days? It's we celebrate our names here, and I don't do that anymore as I am on my own. But before, when I had a family, some small celebration was it for our name days, and my name is Anna, my first name. It is here in Sweden. Is it December 9, and Eve that I also have is on Christmas Eve. So I be sad when I was a child that I didn't had a name day. It come into Christmas things. So my mother always say that we don't need to celebrate your names because we celebrate Christmas and you get gifts there, and you don't need to have gifts on your name days. And I be angry at this, what she was saying. So when I become older, like 10 years old, my mother say that we should celebrate my name day. And I have a double name. My first name is Anna, and then I have Eva Lotte. Eva first, Eve, and Lotte the second, together with Eve. And so my mother say in May 12, there was the name day was Charlotte, and it was close to Lotte. I know there is this name exists in America and in English in some countries. So my mother decided that we should celebrate this day. But it was when my brother and sister had moved away from home. So it was only she and I. So she gave me a small gift on this day, that is today, May 12. But of course I didn't celebrate it today. But in some way I celebrate it because I get a visit of this from the Mormon church. And they I asked if they could help me to put together my sofa that I have ordered that I should have in the garden, the sofa. So they say that they could come today and they put together the sofa and place it where it should be. And the sofa, I took a picture of it, so it will be a picture of my sofa on this chapter. But the man that was here last time, he don't live in our city, so he he have going back home to Malmö, and so it was another man that come here, and he was very dark. He was like coming from South America like that, but it seems like he say he was from Germany, but he lived in Utah, and he I say to this young man that should help me with the sofa that was here the other time, and I was talking very much spirit things like I talk to you, and I told him because they have only 1 hour to be in my home, so he say that, so I in the chat he say that, and I say I am not going to talk about spirit things, about my relationship with God. I'm not going to. I only will stay focused on to put together the sofa today. But it didn't turn out that way. I think they have talked about me in the church, because that man that come today, he asked me many questions, spiritual questions, and they treat me like they don't know that I am a member of the church. No one have told them that, and they treat me like I don't know anything about God and the Bible, and that offend me. It does do that, but I don't tell them that. But I told them many times today that when they were talking like our church, and then they talk about their church, and it is my church also because I'm a member of the church, and but they say like I was new, I didn't know anything, and they tried to teach me about the church, and I said I have been for some years now member of the church, and I have been baptized also in the church, and I have been to Utah. 1 month I was staying in Utah, and I was in a home of those in the priesthood for their church, the church they belong to, and we were to that church every Sunday, and I was with them, and so I knew very much the new man that come here today. He was from Provo in Utah, and I told him that I have been to Provo. We were to Provo one day, and we drive around there because we have a car, and they knew very much about Provo, those that I was staying, and they wanted us to drive up in the mountain with the car, and we did that, but first we drive around in Provo in Utah, and it offended me when they speaking like you don't know anything. You don't know anything about our church. But it's not their church, because I have been baptized in that church in 2017 was I baptized. So I have been, even if I have not been in the church because of COVID-19, but I have, because when we had COVID-19, they were sending from the church on internet, so I could see the church service from my computer, and but they close when it was time for. Now I can't speak the word community. This where we eat bread and drink water, and they closed the camera when they did that, and they say if someone wanted to take the community this with the bread and water, we should tell them, and they could pass by and give it to us. But of course I didn't want them to come into my home when it was COVID-19 going on. So I don't know if you heard it. It was someone that knocked the computer out from my hands, and it's some spirit that it's saying, wake up, we want to talk. So but to end it, what I'm talking about, it was that he asked questions, so I had to answer him. He's asked many spiritual questions, and they were praying twice in my home. They don't pray for me, but for the church. And so I couldn't be quiet as he asked me many questions. And the man that is there that have talked to me, I think he go angry because I don't speak to him. It is like he bring to me those young men for me to talk to them. It seems like it be like that from heaven, that but he don't understand. I see he go angry. Why don't you talk to me? Why do you talk to those that I have with me to you? And so it's be very awkward, odd meeting, but I can't help it, because they are in my home, they are in this place where the afterlife is. It is afterlife here in my home. It's like many from heaven have come in down, and they are in my home. So they make what they want it to be when people come into my home. And I can't do anything. I can't tell this. The other man also asked me questions very much. And I can't say to them that I can't talk to you. I can't answer you because we should not talk like this or whatever it be. It's like the spirit take them to ask me questions, and they ask different questions to me, and he sit only there on the side. This young man that have the name. His name is Kurt Walker, and he is relatives to me, and I don't need to talk to him because I talk to this other man, and he listen, but it seems like he go angry that I talk to this man about spirit thing, and I say that to them today that Joseph Smith was murdered, and I have met many people when I was in Utah, when I was in Salt Lake City. I met many people there that say to me that they think that Brigham Young had something to do with the killing of Joseph Smith. And I say that when I was in a Pioneer Museum in Salt Lake City, in the museum that have nothing with tourists to do. It's not many people that is coming to that museum I was to, and I was the only one in the museum, along with those that was working there. But it was only one woman that was working there. And I walk around and take many pictures of the museum. I have it on, I don't have it on my computer. I have it in other places on the internet, but I will show you those museum pictures also on the podcast chapters. And so I was checking it out, and it was a woman that her name was, in the last name, sure name was Snow, and she was very high up in this with Joseph Smith, and she lay hands on people, and she have the gift to could hear from God and those things. And Joseph Smith, it's in a paper I read that he wanted to change the church, and he wanted women to be higher up and not be in this low position that the church have. That it's only men that can be prophets, and men that can be apostles. in that church, and I say it sounds crazy for me that women can't be anything of that. They have position in the church, but that is turned to women only and not to the whole church. It's something that have with women to do. There they can be like president for the women's group, but they can't be mixed into the men's group. And that is so strange for me, because I say that God is talking to both men and women. It's not only men he is talking to, but the church wanted it to be like it's only men God is talking to. And I think I shocked these boys because they are born into the church and they have learned those lies without thinking about it. And that make the church very angry at me, that I tell them the truth. And no, I don't play with them. They want me to believe in lies, and they're lying very much, and that against what God wants. What they are telling us is for us to know the truth, and it will set us free when we know the truth. But as the churches lie for the people, we are never set free. If we believe in those lies, we need to have our own relationship with God. I'm not talking to you to follow me in the way I'm talking. I have told you, sometimes I have told you that I can be wrong, because sometimes I take up my worldly me in my speaking. So, and in that way I lie, but I don't want to lie, but it can happen that I am thinking wrong when I hear from the Spirit. And then I can, sometimes I know, sometimes I have talking a little longer than what they have talking to me, and not stop there where they are talking and really thinking about what have they say to me here. I go on and talk, and then suddenly I find myself talking from myself and not from heaven. So I can be wrong in some things, but I have also told you that as soon as I know the truth, that I have a thinking wrong, then I recording it and tell you what I have find out, that it was not really as it should be in that way, but I was thinking from myself, from my brain, and I was not neutral and wait for heaven to talk, and only they talking to me. So I am only a human. I can do many wrong things, and but we know what we should do and not to do. but sometimes we can run away from it, and but we have to come back to the right way to live our life. And they in the Catholic Church, for example, there is, you can't go run to a priest and tell you have done wrong things, and then he tell you that you have told your sin, and then you can go and sin again. And it should only be one time, and then we learn from it. But in the Catholic Church, you can do the same thing over and over, and then go to the priest, and he forgive you. He is not God. It's only a human. It's a man, the same thing as you and me. It's only that he has the maybe more theology study. He have studied more, maybe, so he can answer you. And it's the same. You can go to other form of confess your sin, and tell in psychology, talking to someone there, but they can never forgive you the sin. That is only heaven that can do. So I hear you. I hear someone understand this, and it be like you understand that you have lived in a lie, but you need to learn. That's why I have the podcast. It's not me that have the podcast, it's heaven that have this podcast, for to tell you, to make you understand that it is man-made churches here on this planet, and it rules the whole world, and women have nothing to say if they are not married to a man that have this priesthood, that they can preach under the man, but also be careful. They preach, but they need to know from the man how they should preach, what they should say. They don't preach free. But I have done that. I don't preach under any man. I have preached under God. And I don't let the man take charge over me. The man is the head of the household when it comes to worldly things, to take care of his family. But the man is not the head of the household when it comes to the spirit things. That's something else. And God speaks to both men and women. But in the household is where it says in the Bible that the man should be the head of the family. But he is not the head over the spirit family. So you have to understand the difference. Um, so I got my sofa today. I come back to my sofa and I can sit outside in my garden. Uh, so I get sunshine the whole time when it's in the garden, the sun. When I sit close to the house, it's going away, the sun is going away about 1 o'clock. But when I sit at the sofa, I can sit in the sunshine until 3 o'clock, like that. But then I can drive away with my scooter to be in the sunshine. So this is what I wanted to tell you. They have those men that was here, the young boys that is here. For me, is it boys? And I say that inside my mind because they put together the sofa, but they never ask me where the covering was very much paper around it. They didn't ask me where they could throw that away for me. So I find it after that they have gone, and I have hard to go and put it in the trash because it was so much paper. But I could do it after I have been sleeping, so my brain was a normal brain for a little while, and I went out with everything of this paper when the brain was okay. But I walk away for about 10 meters away to the trash house, and I could have fallen in that moment, but I make sure that the brain was okay before I start to walk outside. I couldn't have my scooter with me. I have to walk, ordinary walk. And so I did. But it always takes so much energy from the brain to walk like normal walk, because I have to be careful so I don't walk in something or that the brain stop working. But I know yesterday I was very bad in the brain because it was very much wind, and I was I tried to those boys that should come and show them the way to my house, and it was very much wind, and it's disturbed my brain, so I was very bad, and I had hard to speak to them because of the brain lockdown. But here, when I talk to you, it's very much spirit thing, and the spirits help me to could talk, and they are talking through my mouth, so it's been not the same. The brain doesn't need to have so much energy to speak to you. is different. And when I talk to these young boys, and my brain go tired, but not in my podcast. Thank you, God, for that. So that's what happened to me. And so it was the May 12 and my name day, but I celebrate it in some way that the boys was here, and I give them ice cream as a thank you for put together the sofa. So it was very nice, and then we have got the summer is here. It was what I say. I say the truth the whole time, and I be so surprised over myself that I do it. But it's I am a prophet, so I hear from heaven what will happen, and I say that to people for 2 months ago, that I say it this year we will not have any spring. It will come summer immediately, and it was like that. We have not had real spring in Sweden this year, and now it's the summer. It was 2021 Celsius degrees today, so that's summer. The spring is about 10-15 Celsius degrees here in Sweden. So that it's summer tomorrow also, and I'm going to drive around a little. I was thinking if I should go drive to the beach, and in that way order a taxi. I maybe do it tonight. I am not really sure what I should do, but I'm going out at least tomorrow, and I'm very happy that we have the summer now. So thank you for listening, and God bless you.